workout, you're going to need a mini band. So we're going to start by wrapping the mini band around our ankles. We're going to do some banded walks. So you want to get down in a squat, pushing your butt back and bending at the knees. And you're going to step sideways, keeping that squat position and the chest lifted. 3 steps to one side and then 3 steps to the other for 2 rounds. Next, we'll do side leg lifts. So keeping that band around the ankles, you're going to step to one side with one foot, keeping the other one planted. Nice tall posture. And then you'll do your back leg lifts the same way, 5 each way. So 5 to the side, 5 to the back. Notice I'm just going onto my toe with that back and that side, but I'm really kicking out. And then switch legs. Try not to shift your weight on your standing leg, but stay nice and tall. That's where the core work comes in. And then 5 to the back. You should really feel the glute in this one. And then we'll do this again for round 2. So we'll start with our banded walks. Again, sitting back in your squat, stepping 3 ways one side, 3 the other way for 2 rounds. Now side and back leg lifts, 5 each way, keeping your standing leg nice and straight, not shifting your weight over it, using that core and keeping the chest lifted. Really feel the thighs and glute in these ones. Banded walks and then our back and side leg lifts. Let's make the thighs burn. This is your last round for this exercise. Place the band around the tops of the knees for round 2 and move to the walls. This is our wall circuit. Start with some wall abductions. So that means our feet stay planted and we move our knees away from each other, going against the tension of the band. Remember, keep that wall sit position. You're parallel with the floor, your thighs are 90-degree bend in the knees, and your back is against the wall so your core can engage. Now we go into core lifts. So keeping that wall sit position and really engaging the core, bringing the abs in. You're going to exhale as you lift the arms overhead, tightening the core even more and pressing the low back into the wall. Inhale as you lower the arms and relax the core a little bit, but keep the wall sit position. Now we'll go into round 2 for both of those exercises. So starting with that wall sit abductions, move the knees away from each other. Remember to keep the back pressed against the wall so the core can engage. Again, lifting those arms as you engage the core, tightening it even more as you raise the hands overhead and exhale. Remember, keep the back flat against the wall and keep your wall sit position. All right, for circuit 3, we're going to do some lunges and squats. So we're going to bring some medium or heavy weights in, hold them in either hand, and a curtsy lunge down. So a curtsy lunge, you bring that foot diagonally behind the front standing foot and lunge down in that manner, kind of like you're curtsying before a king. You want to keep your weight on that front foot and really feel yourself pushing into that glute. As you lunge down, keep the back straight and the chest lifted, and make sure your knee doesn't go in front of your toe. Then when we finish with that leg, we're going to move into plie squat pulses. So holding the weights down in front of the body, keeping the chest lifted, the feet are wider than the hips, and the knees follow the direction of the toes as they point toward the corners of the room. You're going to pulse there. Then we go back to our curtsy lunge for the other side. Remember, really sit into that glute, that butt muscle of the standing leg, and really use that heel of the standing leg. All right, round 2 for this circuit. Starting with the curtsy lunge on one side, holding those medium to heavy weights, and then your plie squats, then your curtsy lunge on the other side. Again, for the plie squat pulses, those weights go in front, your feet are wide, your knees follow your toes, and you're going to pulse up and down in that plie squat position. So it's not a large movement, you're keeping the tension in the thighs and glutes throughout. Now finish up with the curtsy lunges on that other side. Circuit 4, our last circuit for this workout, is a floor circuit. So down on the ground, you're going to place your band around the tops of the knees, flat on your back with your feet on the floor. Let's start with some bridge and abductions. So you lift your hips up into that bridge pose and bring the knees away from each other, just like we did against the wall, keeping the hips lifted. And then into our clams, you're going to be on your side with that band around the tops of the knees and lift from the top knee. Remember to move the hips toward the ground a little bit so you're not tilting back in this and really using that side glute and hip muscle on that top leg. Now we can go right into a side plank. So I'm in a full elbow side plank. You can do a modified on your knee if you prefer. And I'm just going to hold that position for 20 seconds. Try to keep the hips lifted and don't let them dip. Into a plank position for plank heel lifts. Now the band's around my ankles, you'll notice. I'm in my full plank. I'm going to lift each heel as I keep that core engaged and those hips down. And I'm going to try and keep my balance. I really feel the core and the glutes working in this one. It's awesome. Now on the the other side for the clams again. Notice I brought my hips forward so they weren't tilting back. That makes all the difference in this exercise. That keeps the glute working, the butt muscle and hip muscle working instead of the back. Lift that top knee for this exercise. And back into our side plank hold for this side now for 20 seconds, keeping the hip lifted off the ground, not letting it dip. And if I reached under, I would feel that side ab muscle, that oblique, was really nice and tight. Don't forget to breathe. All right, we're going into round 2 of all of these exercises. So remember, we're going to start with the glute bridge with the abductions. So on the back, lift the hips, bring the knees away from each other, keeping those hips lifted, using those glutes to keep the hips lifted. You should probably be feeling the burn by this point. Now the clams one more time, lifting that top knee, keeping the hip forward just like that, so that core is working and that butt and hip muscle are working. Side plank hold again on this side, keeping the hips lifted and breathing. Nice straight back. And ending with our plank heel lifts, this awesome exercise. So full plank form, but my hips aren't hiked up. They're down in line with my body, and I'm just pushing against that band with the heels, really using the core. Exhale as you lift, it will help. Now our last set of clams on the other side, so go ahead and start those. Last side plank hold on this side too, and then we're all done. Awesome job.